tayo para sa isang napakainit na kaganapan mula sa House of Representatives. Ngayong March 3, 2026, naging markado ang tensyon sa loob ng House Committee on Justice ng harapin ni Rep. Bong Suntay ang mga banat laban sa ating Vice-Presidente na si Sara Duterte. Sa gitna ng pagratsyada ng mga impeachment complaints, lumabas ang isang boses na naghahanap ng katuwiran at ito ay walang iba kundi si Rep. Suntay. Sa ating pagsusuri sa hearing, tila hindi nagustuhan ni Rep. Bienvenido Abante ang mga naging obserbasyon ni Suntay. Pinuna ni Abante ang tila pagtatanggol daw ni Suntay kay VP Sara, lalo na nang questionin ni Suntay ang mga ebidensyang ipinipresenta ng kampo ni Leila de Lima. Ayon kay Suntay, hindi pwedeng mag-conclude agad na may pagkakasala ang Vice-Presidente base lamang sa mga kwento o hearsay ng walang konkretong ebidensya. Mariing iginiit ni Rep. Suntay na ang layunin ng hearing ay dapat maging patas at hindi dapat jumping the gun o nagmamadaling humatol. Ngunit para kay Abante, na kilalang isa sa mga nag-endorso ng impeachment, ang bawat pagkontra ni Suntay ay tila nagiging hadlang sa kanilang balak. Dito natin makikita, mga katinig, ang tindi ng political pressure na kahit ang mga mambabatas na humihingi lamang ng patas na laban ay pinupunan na rin ng kanilang mga kasamahan. Para sa mga taga-suporta ng mga Duterte, ang ginagawa ni Rep. Suntay ay isang mahalagang hakbang upang matiyak na hindi magiging trial by publicity o political ploy lamang ang impeachment na ito. Marami ang nagtatanong, bakit tila gigil na gigil ang ilang mambabatas na iakyat ito sa Senado nang hindi muna sinusuring mabuti ang mga butas sa reklamo? Ito nga ba ay tunay na paghahanap ng hustisya o sadyang paggipit lamang sa isang lider na may dambuhalang mandato ng bayan? Sa kabila ng mga patutsada ni Rep. Abante, nanatiling matatag ang ilang mambabatas na naninindigan para sa due process. Para sa ating mga katinig, ang ganitong mga kaganapan ay patunay na mayroon pa ring mga boses sa Kongreso na hindi basta-basta magpapadala sa agos ng politika para lamang pabagsakin ng isang Duterte. Sino nga ba ang tunay na nagtatanggol sa konstitusyon at sino ang ginagamit lamang ito para sa sariling agenda? Kayo mga Lodi, mga katinig, ano ang masasabi nyo sa naging pagsupil ni Abante kay Rep. Suntay? Tama ba na punahin ng isang mambatas na humihingi lamang ng patas na proseso para kay VP Sara? I-comment nyo ang inyong mga matapang na saloobin sa ibaba. Huwag kalimutang i-like at i-share ang videong ito para manatiling mulat ang ating mga kababayan dito sa Tinig ng Bayan. Maraming salamat sa inyong walang sawang pagsuporta.
Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Araneta, at si Martin Romualdez. No joke. No joke. Nagdilin na ako, ma'am. Pag namatay ako, sabi ko, huwag ka tumigil hanggang hindi mo mapatay sila. And then he said yes. Huwag ka mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko. Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya.
So may we request the Honorable Endorser to confirm if that is the same video that she is referring to.
Yes, Madam Chair.
All right, so that is for the record. We showed the video for the guidance of the justice members in the determination of sufficiency in substance. Are there members who wish to comment or manifest with respect to the fourth ground of impeachment or in relation to the video just presented?
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Zamora.
we are all familiar with the actuations of the Vice President as seen in that video. That was, in fact, on November 23, 2024, and that took place after the Committee on Good Government had their proceedings, and well, we all knew what happened then. That was the time when Attorney Zulaika was detained. And well, it is incumbent upon us to point out the specific portions of the complaint. The Honorable Leila de Lima already mentioned, but it is clear here under paragraph 100 that the Vice President committed overt acts constituting impeachable offenses. It says here, and as we saw in the video, that on November 23, 2024, in a morning briefing with the media, Vice President Sara stated that she has talked to an assassin and had instructed him to kill President Marcos Jr., the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House of Representatives. To continue, in paragraph 105, it states here, instead of retracting what she said, Vice President Sara admittedly owned her previous statement. On November 26, 2024, she publicly confirmed that she had indeed talked to a person who could assassinate the President, the First Lady, and the former House of Representatives Speaker. A reporter said, "So, but you already talked to a person?" Vice President Sara said, "Yes. To do that in the event that you are killed?" And Vice President Sara said, "Yes, yes, yes." It is my position that the threats were conditional, is inconsequential, and that the mere act of engaging an assassin, as stated in the complaint, is opposed to her oath, and that the mere act of uttering these statements is already impeachable because at the very least, it amounts to a betrayal of public trust, aside from all of the offenses charged in the impeachment complaint. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Zamora.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Suntay.
Madam Chair, the complaint alleges that the respondent declared that she had arranged for a person to kill the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker if she herself were killed. The complaint alleges a public statement, but it does not allege the existence of an actual agreement to kill. There is not even an overt act in furtherance of such agreement. Any act constituting conspiracy or any act constituting conspiracy or attempted murder. Kasi yung alleged gunman, hindi man lang natin na-present. Now, let's go to the doctrine of free speech. Which guarantees free speech and free press do not permit a state to forbid or prescribe the advocacy of the use of force or of law violation except where such advocacy is directed to inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to incite or produce such action. Advocacy of violence or law-breaking is protected unless it is directed at inciting or producing imminent lawless action and is likely to produce such action. That was stated in Salonga versus Cruz Paño, 134 SCRA 438. Now, kung makikita rin natin dun sa statement ni, dun sa video, and I'm glad that it was flashed on screen, which, kasi, in fact, dapat nga hindi, because it would be premature. As I mentioned, the video is not part of the complaint, but okay lang na ipakita natin dyan because it brings back yung ano natin, yung pag-aalala sa mga yan. The VP said that she hired someone to kill. If she herself was killed, lo and behold, they are both alive. So ibig sabihin, walang overt action which was done. You know, sometimes when I go home late, my wife always threatens to kill me. Sabi sa akin ng asawa ko, papatayin kita na eh. Umaga ka na naman umuwi. And you know, my wife is the queen of our home, ha? And she is highly respected by everyone in our household. But you know, I am still alive. And my wife only kills me with love. Common sense dictates that if you are really serious in killing someone, you do not announce it to the whole world. Why would you announce that you will kill someone if you really intend to kill someone? Common sense dictates otherwise. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Honorable
Madam
Abante.
With due respect to Congressman Suntay, I do not know if he is lawyering with for the Vice President because I would even think that he is right now defending her. Pero ito you have seen the video. Whether it be that he is joking, that's between her, diba? Thing is this, that amounts to a credible threat against the President, the First Lady, and the Speaker, that is not political noise. Just like what he's saying about his wife. What he's saying about his wife is only political noise.
No, but my wife
But
is
that
not a
is not
politician.
political noise, Madam Chair. That is a red flag for national stability and constitutional order. Why? The Vice President is not a private citizen. The wife of Congressman Suntay is a private citizen, but not the Vice President. The office of the Vice President carries access, influence, and security resources. That is why the standard for public trust is higher, not lower, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Adjong.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And then Honorable Degamo.
Very, very short manifestation regarding the video. The whole nation was aware of this video, actually, Madam Chair. It came out during a press conference that the Vice President called for when Attorney Zulaika was in detention in the House of Representatives. My take on that, Madam Chair, is you can argue on whether a crime is being consummated or not, because some say that it has not been fully implemented, and so therefore the crime is not committed itself. To me, Madam Chair, I know how a layman would understand that is, it does not take one particular threat to be consummated, meaning to be implemented, for it to constitute a betrayal of public trust. The mere fact, Madam Chair, that it was uttered by a sitting Vice President to threaten a sitting President and claim that she had contracted an assassin to do her bidding is in itself an impeachable act. It's in itself a betrayal of public trust, Madam Chair. So whether or not it was said in jest, whether or not there was an intention, because it's conditional according to some, whether there was not really an intention, except, for example, that she herself was killed. So that's irrelevant to me, Madam Chair, because the fact that it was said, the threat was said by an official who needs to uphold a high standard of, the demand of her office should be upheld in such a high standard, would to me fall under the category of a betrayal of public trust. That is my humble submission, Madam Chair, on the issue of the video that just flashed, it's played on the monitor, Madam Chair, Your Honors. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Honorable Adjong. At this juncture, we recognize the Honorable Degamo.
Yes, Madam Chair. I would like to speak from a personal experience. My husband, the late Governor Degamo, before he was murdered. By the way, we will be remembering his 3rd death anniversary tomorrow. That's March 4. He received threats before he was tragically murdered. The threats at first were conditional. Like, if you do this, something will happen. But then, even though they were conditional, the fear and intimidation they caused were very real. Conditional threats can turn into actual harm. Nangyari po yun sa amin. In the same way, when the VP reportedly made statements implying harm to the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker, those statements are serious, even if raised as conditional. Kasi words from someone in her position carry weight. It can intimidate other officials, it can influence decision, and even undermine public trust. That is why, in impeachment terms, such conditional threats are considered sufficient in substance. It's not just the wording that matters, it's the effect and potential for harm, especially when the speaker holds high office. Just as in my family's experience, conditional threats really must be taken seriously. Gusto ko lang pong idagdag. The legal connection there talks about a threat does not have to be absolute or immediate to be serious. What matters is its potential impact, especially if the speaker holds power. Conditional threats can intimidate or coerce. Even a statement that starts with "if" can pressure officials or institutions to act a certain way. And high office makes it more serious. Maybe words from ordinary people may be limited in effect, but threats from a person who is holding a national leadership post carry far-reaching consequences. Kaya nga po, public office demands higher standards of behavior. Yun yung nire-require sa atin. Dahil if wrongly handled, and I must admit, my husband must have wrongly handled the situation back then that resulted now to his 3rd year anniversary, still waiting for justice to be served. Yan lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Digamo. Next in line is Madam Endorser. Can we finish first the manifestations of the justice members before we go back to you?
Yes, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, let me borrow the words of the late Justice Cruz, Justice Isagani Cruz, when he defined impeachment as a method of national inquest into the conduct of public men. Ang ibig sabihin po nito, ang tinitignan po dito ay yung mga taong nasa taas ng lipunan kung paano nila maglabas ng behavior sa publiko. Ang hinuhusgahan po dito sa impeachment ay yung kanila pong conduct. Obviously, napanood po natin, hindi po ito yung conduct na inaasahan po natin sa isang tao na may pangalawa sa pinakamataas na posisyon sa ating lipunan. Yung video po, ang tinatawag po natin, res ipsa loquitur. The video speaks for itself. Hindi na po natin kailangan magpahaba. Hindi po ito usapin ng kriminal para tignan po natin ang elemento ng threat. Ang tinitingnan po dito po sa pinakita sa atin, yung conduct ba na pinakita niya ay binetray niya yung public trust? Ito ba yung conduct na inaasahan natin sa isang tao na mataas ang katungkulan sa lipunan? Pag sinagot po ninyo ko na ito po yung conduct, maaari ko pong sabihin na wala nga po talagang substance. That's all, Madam Chair.
Let us be reminded that in various discussions of impeachment process, we try to determine the fitness of the public official to hold public office. That is for the record. Any other member who wish to manifest? You would like to add, Honorable Digamo?
Yes, Madam Chair. And if I may add, itong grounds po na ito, we are not just dealing here with the VP. No? Ang ibig ko pong sabihin, kahit sino po, pwede naman pong ang source of threat is the President. Source of threat could be the Speaker, directed to the VP, the President, directed to the VP. Pwedeng it could be directed to any other public official. Pero yun po yung nakikita natin na hindi talaga dapat binabaliwala para wag naman pong matulad sa amin. So it's not about personalities. It is about the actuations na ginawa at dapat may managot. Thank you po.
Thank you. Next is the Honorable Vice Chair Dumogan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't like to repeat what had already been said, but looking at the allegations in ground number 4, including the video that we had just watched, at this stage of determining sufficiency in form, it has already complied. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Dumogan. We will now go back to the endorser of the impeachment complaint, the Honorable De Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To just be brief, yes, res ipsa loquitur. The video says it all. Res ipsa, the thing speaks for itself. The video itself speaks for what we are alleging as impeachable offenses. No joke, no joke. Then there's no issue anymore as to whether it was meant to be a joke. Because it's the VP herself who says, no joke, no joke. So wala na pong question dyan. Hindi na po natin kailangan i-prove na yun ay joke because it came from her,
That it is not a joke.
from her own language. It's admission against interest. There is also no such thing as conditional threat. A threat is a threat, irrespective of whether or not there is such a condition, katulad nung binanggit ng VP, na kung mamatay daw siya, it doesn't erase the fact that she made a threat. So, there is no such thing as conditional threat. It's also a non-issue. Now, we saw also the video. It has been widely covered even by foreign media. What other country, or is there any other country where we have seen such an incident of the second highest official of the land, a very high official of the land, making such a very open and public and brazen act of threatening the President and the two others? So, malinaw po itong ground na ito. Isa po ito sa tingin ko ang pinaka-malakas na magiging basis ng impeachment. Thank you.
At dyan nagtatapos ang usapan natin ngayon. Kung may gusto kang idagdag o reaksyon, i-comment mo lang sa baba. Boses mo'y mahalaga. Huwag kalimutang i-like, share, at subscribe para sama-sama nating palakasin ang tinig ng bayan. Hanggang sa susunod, tandaan, ang may alam, may laban!
Awesome!